Welcome to my video. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Went on a little adventure this morning, in this frigid temperature. So just wanted to make a quick video and show you guys just exactly some tips that I think would be beneficial in this kind of weather, negative temperatures, and, getting your car up and going and stuff like that. So as you see right here, I had the Wrangler parked in front of my dad's truck. We were attempting for the past hour to get it running. I don't really recommend forcing your car to run if you don't have to go to work in temperatures like this where it does get really cold. I don't recommend trying to start your car and actually break something like we actually have on my dad's truck. We attempted to spray it with starting fluid, so we tried popping open one of the hoses on the intake plenum and actually cracked off one of the plastic fittings. Fortunately, it still runs just fine. If you're really forcing yourself, don't risk breaking anything on your vehicle. So luckily the Jeep Wrangler actually was the only vehicle that we got to start without a problem, without a jump or anything like that. So I was actually really happy about that. And I started it at about 8:30 this morning and have not shut it off since. When I was recording this video, it was about 12 to 12:30 in the afternoon. So as you see here, I'm driving over to the store to pick up propane to boost the temperature in the house because the furnace is basically running the entire time, and just in case it does go out, we need to have some heat going in the house. And as it is already, I want to say overnight was probably close to -30, maybe real feel was like -50, maybe -60 is really pushing it, but a real feel, not actual temperature. But it was extremely freezing this morning, and I don't want to have issues with my lungs later because the air is so cold and so sharp, it is going to affect you pretty badly. That's just like as an extra precaution, either a respirator or a scarf over your face so you don't breathe the straight cold air. Definitely helped me out quite a bit. Well, I do have a garage, but I don't really have a lot of access to it. It's usually kind of kept as a workshop. You can fit one car there at a time, but usually it's, filled, the spot is filled with something. So I generally have to leave my car outside, and as do my parents. Currently, I have my McLaren parked up in the horse barn. Not exactly an ideal spot, but definitely a lot better than having it in freezing temperatures like this. Knowing that car, it'll probably deteriorate if it's outside in these negative temperatures. So, but I do recommend if you do keep your car outside, keep it in a spot where it has access to the sun in the morning because probably will have a better chance of starting. I want to say that the Wrangler, since it was getting hit by the sun, it definitely had a better chance of starting. My dad's red truck was parked in a shaded spot, and I want to say maybe there was a difference of about 10 degrees, and I think that helps out a lot because I want to say any freezes at about -30 something degrees, if I'm not mistaken. When you're driving in frigid temperatures like this, and your car is not going to want to move and really do anything. Like my car was really stiff this morning when I went to start it. Don't push your car too hard. Try to let it warm up for as long as possible before you take it anywhere. And when you're driving, try to avoid potholes and really driving too fast because if you hit a pothole or something to where the suspension kind of jolts very abruptly and everything's frozen up, you could risk breaking a ball joint or in my case, I was pretty worried about the wheel adapters I have, the aluminum wheel adapters I have for my wheels. I figured that those would break if I drove too fast, so I kind of didn't want to go over 50 miles an hour. As you can see, I'm putting my respirator on right now. But definitely just got to keep an eye out, and I feel really bad for people that are homeless in this time of year, especially when we have these record low temperatures in Chicagoland. Just want to make sure you take extra precaution and keep yourself as warm and bundled up as possible. So just the other day, I had quite a bit of running around to do. It wasn't as cold as it was today, but it was extremely cold, and I had to go to the auction house and pick up a car. That was not where it was supposed to be. I had to run around all over the lot to find it. Luckily, I managed to get a car to drive around in, but you do not want to stay in these temperatures outside for long periods of time, which I did yesterday and was not fun. I did end up buying a car for the channel yesterday. I will unveil it to you guys as soon as the weather breaks and it warms up. I did have an interesting experience bringing the car back home the other night. It was super cold. The car wasn't able to tell if it actually had a working heat or not because I want to say there's a huge gap in the car somewhere that kind of lets in a lot of ambient air from outside. So that was not a fun experience. Drove it up from the north side and back to my house was about an hour drive. So it was pretty miserable. it was wearing pretty much the same exact setup that I have now, except I pulled the strings as much as I could on my hoodie to kind of keep my face warm. But I mean, that's pretty much it. A couple tips just to keep you guys warm. Like I said, just try not to force your vehicle to run because you could, force braking something, and, just stay safe out there. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and, stay warm out there. Please consider subscribing, like the video if you found it helpful, dislike it if you didn't, and tell me what I can improve on, and comment, and feel free to create a discussion down in the comments, and I'll be quick to respond. And let me know if you guys had any struggles this winter, and stay safe.